Hey buddy, it's been a very long time since the last video I made. Like maybe a month? I don't know. It's been a crazy ride because that's what life it should be all about, or it is all about, or we made all of it. Uh, we moved. We moved to an amazing place in the mountains, not far from where we were, but totally different, cold. It's in the middle of a forest. You can hear some sounds. They're building a house next door, but overall, we are really in the forest, and it's quiet and it's beautiful. But you know, it hasn't been an easy ride, and not because there's been any difficulties or because not much has changed, but because things are just, you know, because the mind takes control, right? And the crypto market went down, so our investments went down. I have very little income for a very long time, and but really, not much has changed. But my life, my inside my head, I made my own hell, and instead of focusing on all the amazing things that we have, all the amazing things life gives us, the beauty of life. I just started focusing on the things that we may not have in the future if everything goes as bad as the movie I make in my mind tells me it's going to be. So it's been a struggle because of that, because, nothing changed. Reality was the same. It hasn't really much changed since January this year, but I just chose to to make hell, out of this life. I mean, very few times the horrible things that you think are going to happen actually happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I do actually. It's all going to be good. But when you allow your mind to take control, then it makes the a horror movie, and in that movie, everything that can go wrong is going to go wrong, and everything is going to be sad and horrible and miserable. Because of that, mommy, mommy picks my energy really quick, really quick. It is as if mommy is like a thermometer that is constantly taking, like checking my temperature, checking the status of my mind. And when she sees that I'm not in the best states of mind, I she knows it. She picks it up, and and uh, and she rejects it very strongly. Uh, we When I met mommy and things happened at the beginning, someone told me that we most probably were twin flames, which is like souls that are extremely similar in frequency, and as if it was a single soul that splits into different existences, so it can advance spiritually faster. And it sounded weird, but it resonated very much as very possible, as very probable, or as as the truth of what we are. And it seems like when mommy picks that my consciousness is lowering, she reacts strongly and aggressively, and what it would seem very negatively to my lowering of consciousness. So she's been very, very, very harsh with me, but with good reason. She doesn't consciously know it. She doesn't realize, but I do, that when my consciousness is low, when I become entangled in my mind, it's as if she's disappointed, and she's upset that I'm allowing this to happen. So it's been difficult weeks, very difficult weeks, because of my making. I mean, I'm going to talk a scenario right here. Okay, let's say that everything goes to hell, and we end up all poor and in abject misery. Well, who knows what that future would be like? I mean, what about if we learn how to be happy even at the most difficult of economic times? Yet, we have absolute happiness. So would it matter? Probably not. Actually, not at all, right? Because now that we have everything, we truly do have absolutely everything, and I'm not being able to be happy. So what makes me think that losing it all, if it ever would happen, would be absolutely like the most unhappiest of things and times. So how things have changed. I went to have ayahuasca, the sacred plant, Saturday, and it was absolutely amazing. I was extremely fearful of what was going to happen there, but I had nothing to fear because it ended up being an extremely positive, beautiful, enriching experience for me, where the sacred plant, or the abuela, that's how they call it, well, showed me that there's nothing in my path that prevents me from everything. There's no blockage, there's nothing specific to resolve. She showed me through many experiences that the absolute divine, or the between the absolute divine and the absolute hell, there's only choice. Only choice. Because at my left, there was these people singing these songs that truly were connected to the divine, and to my right, there was a man who was having the most horrific experience I could imagine anyone having under the effect of ayahuasca. And I had a choice to either focus on the beauty of the divine and experience bliss, or focus on the horrors of the person next to me who was going through absolute hell. And I made the choice, and the choice was, I want the divine. And that's where I focused my attention, and there is where I was, in absolute bliss, in absolute contact with God. That was one thing I learned, and the other one, I saw this man again. Actually, the ayahuasca, the abuela, told me to go and help, and I did, and no one stopped me, which is, I'm being told, is very unusual. But I saw this man, and I recognized myself on these weeks that I've been through hell. I recognized myself and him having a horrific experience, horrific by any means of the imagination, while the divine was right all around him. Yet he was in such a state of lack. He couldn't believe he could access it, even though he was bathing in it. The divine was all around him, within him. Yet his absolute belief that he was unworthy of the absolute beauty of God put him in hell. So it was the poverty of his self-belief that was preventing him from absolute bliss. So that was a very strong lesson, because this is what I've been struggling myself with. And by the ayahuasca telling me that there was nothing to heal, that I had all the tools already, that she actually didn't want me to ever come back to a ceremony like this, because I had all the tools already. She told me that I was worth as long as I believed I was worth. And it is a choice what you put your attention on and what you focus on. And I felt the divine, and I still feel it. And yeah, so it was absolutely wonderful. It is. So that's why I made this video. Because I really want to share this with you. I don't know how often I'm going to make this video. It will be, I guess, when I want. But that should be enough for you to know your daddy and know what happened. I came back. Oh, I also learned that ayahuasca abuelita, or mommy, as I was calling her all the time while I was in the ceremony, embodies every woman that chooses to be a mother in the world. So the easiest, simplest way of loving her back is to love mommy and my own mom, your grandma, and honor and respect every mother out there. So I saw that the easiest way to help healing mummy is to bathe her in love, unrestricted, unlimited, and unconditional love. And I learned one beautiful thing as well. I asked Mummy, ayahuasca, if I had a specific purpose in life. And at the end of that night, she showed me that that specific purpose I have is to help, to give, and to give, and to give, and to give. And I think that's the easiest way to fend off against the feeling of lack or poverty of any kind. Because how can one lack when he has so much to give? And I do very much have so much to give in so many different ways and forms. That's pretty much what I've been doing all my life, yet I always thought I had to find a way to profit from these things. And now I know, no. Well, yeah, I will profit plentifully from giving everything to everyone that wants whatever I can give to them. But it's not going to be profiting with money, but profiting with knowing that I have such an abundance that I can just dedicate my life to giving. So that was quite an amazing thing to learn. You know, they tell you from the very beginning that ayahuasca is going to show you your soul. It's nothing outside of yourself. And this is what I saw, and I think that's a beautiful thing to see when you see that your life purpose is to give. It means you have so much already. The rest I leave up to God and the universe to put the synchronicities, the opportunities, the strikes of luck on my path, so the rest of the abundance comes to me in the way, shape, form, and moment that is best for me. Before the ayahuasca, I didn't sleep for 72 hours, not because of it, but because the 2 nights before, my soul was already getting prepared. I didn't sleep, and then I didn't need 48 hours. Yet after I finished the ceremony, I was full of energy and life, and I realized that it's about focus, and I'm going to focus from now on, not on avoiding pain or reaching health, but in health, not in the avoidance of pain, but in health, on plenitude, not on not suffering, but in love, not in not having, but in abundance. Those are the things I have to I focus on from now on. So I saw how the thoughts, the focus, crystallize, plastify, like make plastic, like something like that, consciousness into reality. It's as if something like, I saw it with my eye, with my third eye or something. I saw that when I started lending my attention to to a thought, there was as if out of nothing, like 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 how the things get frozen on like when they fast forward something frozen. Everything just like reality become frozen, and so that's how we create our hell or our heaven, by focusing. But the best is just to flow, because when I allowed everything to flow, nothing got this like solidification that I saw. When suddenly I put my thought or attention into something, anything, and it became solid. Not in not it's not good or bad, but definitely something that you don't want to do as a human being if you want to transcend and live in a grateful and blissful state. Yeah. So I didn't throw up as most people do. I didn't have any stomach problems whatsoever. In no way, shape, or form I ever had a sad moment or nothing. Because every time something was like, you could say, weird, negative, or something to be afraid of, I just put so much gratefulness in it, on those things. I shined so much love into everything, that every experience I had, that everything became beautiful. And I realized that all these years that I've been working so hard on my spirituality and my body, on the movement and meditation, on not avoiding pain, on really have paid off. It's as if I went to my graduation ceremony. It really was like that. It was the ceremony of graduation, where I know I finished my degree, and now I just have to use all the knowledge and the wisdom that I gathered, and to put them to good use. Yeah. So I have no idea how I'm going to give, but I don't think I will be lacking of any opportunities to give. There's a reason why I'm here in the mountains that I longed all my life for, yet I never took the occasion to really stay in a place like this. Yeah. So, yeah, that's about it, buddy. I'm going to send this video to some people that may be interested in this, what I'm saying. Maybe that's a way to start spreading some giving. And that's it. I came back, and I'm so in love with your mother. Always been, since day one. And with you, well, I'm always in love with you. You know, I saw something else in the ayahuasca. Many times at some point I was like, how do you say, like, I forgot this word. I always forget this word, no matter how many millions of times I've said it. Yawning. I was yawning. But I didn't open my eyes pretty much all night, right? But it was a very peculiar way how I felt my mouth really wide open. And I felt like if I had opened it too much, and if I had that I had allowed it to say too many things, and it's as if there were spider webs and insects in it, because I haven't protected it and cleaned it and take care of it. So I realized the importance of being pristine with my word and with my thoughts. Again, all this, I've been practicing it for years, but this took a new dimension and a new relevance, because somehow all these years at some point I thought, hey, you have to get real. You need to become provider. Spirituality is second. And I realized, well, I was wrong. And luckily, somehow I kept going one way or the other. I'm looking at an ant. It's funny. I also, today I was trying to break a padlock that the owner of this place told me to please break if possible, to look at the level of the water on the there's the storage of water place. And I tried, and lucky for me nothing happened, but I hit my foot with the axe trying to break this padlock to open the place to see if there's water or not. Then I used a hammer and I hammered my hand. And then I waited. And I said no more. Obviously, I was going to end up without the foot or without the finger or something. And then I started doing some movement, some kind of qigong, while I was totally in a meditative state. And the words came to me from Mummy, from ayahuasca, say, hey, this is locked and you don't have the key, but you have the right to ask the owner of the key to come and open what you need, what you want to open. And I was like, whoa, that is talking about the abundance, the financial abundance I'm looking for, to be a provider for this family. And I realized that the lesson, if you are insisting on opening a door, a padlock or a door or a way that you don't have the key for, and you keep forcing it, all you're going to do is hurt yourself. And you may end up opening it, but at what price? But you have the right to ask that who has the key to open the door. So at that moment, I asked God to open the door of the financial abundance I want, because I don't have the key. It's that I don't have skills, talents, or knowledge. I just don't have the key. But I do have the right to ask for it. I went back home, and then we went for a walk. And on the way back, a lot of things. But one of them is that you found money on the path, on the way back. I haven't found money in 30 years. Yet I found money right at that moment. I have not much of thought, and I do feel the divine connection right now. It's not the first time I felt it. I lost it for a few years, but it's back. And that's it, my love. Many other things, but all of them absolutely beautiful. And I'm wearing this, and since last night, when I did ayahuasca, it was in a place that it was super cold, and even though there was some covering, like plastic covering, it was outside and not far from a lake, actually really close to a lake, so it was super cold. Yet at some point I was talking with some of the people that did this ceremony together, and I realized consciously that I had a choice. The choice of not being cold. And in that instant, I wasn't. And last night, when I was in bed, for the first time in years, I felt like I had so many blankets. I had suspected long ago that I was using all these blankets to feel protected or even like guarded by something from life. And I was right, because yesterday I was just like, back in here, it's cold, mountains are cold. And I just had to take off all the blankets, and because I also felt not only hot, but I felt pressed by all these blankets. And I had the most beautiful sleep you can ever imagine. As you see, I'm not being picky about the sound of surrounding me now, because I've realized that there's no perfect circumstances. It's just what we have, and if that's it, and the least you resist, the more things will flow your way. Yeah. That's it. I love you, my beautiful son. I love you. Have a beautiful day.